and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. It has been a hot minute since I have done a thrift haul or a Thrifty Thursday, and today is technically Thursday, so we are gonna call this a Thrifty Thursday, even though I'm probably not gonna get this video up until tomorrow. But I have been gathering a bunch of stuff over the last few weeks. I went on vacation for a while. I did get a few things while I was on vacation, and I have a lot to share. There's some stuff that I am not gonna be able to go through all of it, so I'm just gonna kind of just gonna throw it out there and show it briefly as best I can. And then other things I'll be able to show you a little better. But disclaimer, there are screaming children in my house right now. My children have just had dinner and they are doing their wild things. So if you hear any screaming in the background, that's what's going on. Everybody is fine, I promise. So I will start with the items that I got when I was on vacation. It's just a few things. I did stop at a yard sale and got a few little jewelry items. I got this gorgeous charm, and it is like a gold coated leaf. Absolutely beautiful, very delicate feeling, super duper pretty. It would be amazing on a botanical themed or nature themed, forest themed journal. And you guys know I am, or some of you know anyways, I'm not a huge fan of gold, but this is gorgeous. I absolutely love this. So I grabbed that. And then I've been saving some papers and items for a nautical or ocean themed journal, and I found this pin, this kind of vintage looking tin pin, and it's just so pretty. I had to grab that with the ocean theme journal in mind. And then I found a pair of these clip-on earrings, and they're kind of like I don't know if they're like a clay, very pretty little, oops, I need to get in focus here. The moon and these really pretty little purple flowers around, and I got a set of those. So those will be fun to clip on a journal here or there. And then I went to the recycling center with my mother-in-law and grabbed a couple of the books that were thrown in there, and I got this one. So this is kind of like it's like a padded cover, and it's embossed, and it's really pretty. And I was thinking with this that I would use the cover for a journal, possibly cover up this part of it. And this was from a set of books, and it was from a library, and there were tons of books. There's just throwing away all these books from this library because nobody uses these types of reference materials anymore, and it's kind of sad actually. So this was from a Time Life book series on the Old West, and we've got the little library card there, the chroniclers, and there's just some really pretty, it's falling apart. I mean, it's done its time, that's for sure. I'm not sure what the actual date of this book is. Oh, here we go, 1976. So it is definitely more of a vintage reference book, but the images in here are so much fun. And there's some colored images, and there's some images that I would use for a journal that I'm thinking of making for one of my friends. But look how gorgeous that is. These pages are just beautiful. And there were so many more of these. I wish I had grabbed more, but there's no way I had time to get through them all because there were so many people in line to drop off their recycling. So that was one that I grabbed at the recycling center. And then this was another one. This is definitely a little tattered and torn. So this is, it's a little easier to see without the dust jacket on. So this is the Burgess Bird Book for Children. And this is a little bit older. So this is 1943. And this has got some beautiful color plates in it. And so this is copyright 1919, but it was printed in 1943. So this is a 1943 version of this book. And there's some bird stories and some really pretty colored book plates in here. This little ruffled grouse. And it's already falling apart. So taking apart would not be a complete crime. Just love the images in this. So I grabbed that one, and I can definitely reuse this cover. I love this image, and I would probably just leave it. This blue is just so vibrant, and the spine is still actually in pretty good condition. It's just the pages are kind of starting to fall apart. As you can see, the binding is coming off here, but otherwise in very good shape. Dust jacket, definitely seen better days. So that was everything that I got in Vermont when I was gone. I did find this at a thrift store recently, and this is just gonna go into my Christmas area of ephemera that I have stored away. And this is from 1963. So this is a Cherished Christmas Carols. And this was kind of tucked in here. So this was a printout that somebody had stuck into this book of some different lyrics. Looked like it was kind of typed out on a typewriter, possibly, I'm not sure. But I was thinking of using this in some Christmas journals, perhaps this year, maybe next year. I'm not sure when I will get around to doing it, but that was cute, so I grabbed that. And then I did get this book at a local used bookstore, and the only reason I got this was because of this cover. I adore this cover. It is absolutely gorgeous. This kind of embossed cover. I don't know if you can see it on camera as glorious as it actually is. And it's in pretty good condition. It is a much older book. It's the cover's in good condition. The book itself is falling apart. But this is an antique book. This is from 1908. And it is a play, The Servant in the House by Charles Rand Kennedy. So this is all, these pages are super like thick paper, and there's some notes in here from whoever was doing this play. And what's interesting is, I don't know if I can find one of the pages or not, but some of the, oh, here's one. Some of the pages were not cut all the way, as you can see. So you can see that this page was not cut properly in this book right here. So you can't actually turn the page there. It makes almost like a pocket, and there's multiple pages in here like that. And then there's some image pages here as well. But I would love to use this gorgeous purple cover for a journal, and then use these pages. And oh, see, it's falling apart already. But I only paid $1 for that. So just beautiful, 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 beautiful color. Loved it. Had to get it. The rest of the items that I'm going to show you were from one estate sale locally, and I will start with the book items. So the first one was a Lizzie Borden book. And this was a book about a play that they wrote about Lizzie Borden. And this is from 1968. So I was gonna read this book and I'm like, and then I started looking into it and I was like, oh, I'm not so sure I'm really interested in this. So this is really about like the history. It has the history of Lizzie Borden in it, but it's about more about like the, what would you call it? Like the pitch to somebody about making this into a play. And there are photos in here, which is like plates from photos, and then there's images from the play that they made. But very, very cool. The story of Lizzie Borden is very interested. If nobody's heard about it or seen any documentaries on it, you should totally look it up. She's quite the woman, and she was exonerated for her crimes. But anyways, that was that one. And then I also found this beautiful book of complete stories by Edgar Allan Poe. And look at the cover on this. And the gilding. And you can tell it's been, look, all those pages folded over. But it's got the little satin bookmark in it. These old pages. It's so beautiful. This one was from 66, and this has just got all Murders in the Rue Morgue. This just got all the Edgar Allan Poe stories, and this is something that I will definitely read. And it's beautiful. It's not completely falling apart yet, so it would feel like a crime to pull it apart, honestly. So this is something that I will definitely read and keep in my collection, my book collection, for a while, until it does decide to really start falling apart. There's definitely some paper, like you can see. There's some pages that are kind of starting to wear down where they were folded and everything, but otherwise, this book is in gorgeous condition. It's absolutely beautiful cover with the gold foiling and the gilded edges on that side and the rough edges on that side. And then we got the Children's Favorites by Beatrix Potter. And the case is kind of falling apart. I don't know the date on this. There's no date on any of these books. I think it's from the 80s, I want to say. And they're in pretty good condition, and I am going to read these to my daughter, most likely. This one was falling apart a little bit more, so I did take this one apart, and I have started to use it, the Tale of Squirrel Nutkin. So you can see that I have definitely started to take apart this book, but the Beatrix Potter is just, it's just a classic. I mean, we've got the Tale of Squirrel Nutkin, the Tale of Two Bad Mice, the Tale of Peter Rabbit, which is, everybody knows the Tale of Peter Rabbit, and then the Tale of Benjamin Bunny. Most people know the Tale of Benjamin Bunny. I mean, they're classics. So that was a fun find. And then I found these beautiful Currier and Ives books. So these are like photos, prints of different art plates. So this is the Currier and Ives printmaker to the American people. And the cover itself is very pretty and ornate. And these I have actually started taking some images out of, and I will definitely use some of these for Christmas. This is from 1942. So some of them are color, some of them are printed, you know, in more of a monochrome kind of print here. But beautiful images in these. The beginning of the book is mostly print about the plates that are in the book. And the paper just feels, love the feel of this paper. So that was that one. And then this one is huge. And I love the images on this cover. It's almost like it reminds me of an old scrapbook. So this one is Currier and Ives America. And it is just, it's ginormous. These old sewn in edges. This one is falling apart at the seams. This one is 1952, so it's actually a little newer than the other one, but I almost think because it's a larger book, that is why it's falling apart. But the printing in this is very beautiful, and this one has all color plates. You've got the the description of the plates here. Again, the paper feels really nice, almost like fabric-y. And these beautiful, sorry, I'm moving my camera around. This book is so big. These beautiful prints. Just so pretty. Make amazing pages in journals. Okay, so the next thing that I'll show you is the fabric. So I got a bunch of different packets of fabric. This is the velvet that I got. So I'm not gonna unfold all of these. I have washed everything, but they still have kind of a musty, just kind of like an old smell. This one is just extremely soft. It's like crushed velvet. They have kind of an old smell to them. And I have washed them and I have soaked them, and I still am getting a little bit of that kind of old smell to them, if anybody knows what I mean. So if anybody has any hints, tricks, tips on how to get that smell out of old, like vintage fabrics, that would be greatly appreciated. And then I got some regular fabrics, and this came in a bunch of different packets. And this is just kind of, it's a mix of some vintage fabrics and some more newer fabrics. So some of them were already sewn together to start to make something. The woman that passed away that they were doing this estate sale for, she was a crafter of many talents, and what I noticed was that it seemed to be one of her passions was like dolls, and she made a lot of dolls and teddy bears. And so some of these things are, this was already sewn together to make something. I'm assuming like maybe like a little skirt or something for a doll, but some of these fabrics are gorgeous. And again, they've got that kind of old vintage smell to them, and I really need to try to get them out, even though I have already washed them once. And I've read that soaking in vinegar could possibly help, but if anybody has any ideas, that would be greatly appreciated. Like I said, some of these are newer, some of these are older. They're just, I love them all so much. Love this paisley, the polka dots, the florals. They're all just so, ooh, there's some velvet got mixed in with, look at that paisley velvet. Look at that, oh my God, it's so soft. I might make something for myself out of that. I don't know, it's amazing. Just all the different vibes these are giving off. And then these are a couple more vintage fabrics. This is a little more on the fragile side. I'm not sure when these are from, but these are feel kind of like they were taken from a garment of sorts. This one's kind of a little, I don't know, like a satiny kind of fabric. And then we have the laces and trims. And I bought 4 tubs of these. I have soaked everything, washed everything, and I am just absolutely in love with all of this. I have put this little sachet with some dried flowers in there just to kind of keep it smelling. And I'm not going to be able to show you everything, but there's so many vintage and antique laces in here. There's these beautiful trims in here, these kind of fabric trims. This gorgeous trim here. This beautiful, look at how gorgeous that is. Just to die for. And then all of these were cut up little pieces, and I am almost certain that somebody hand embroidered these flowers onto here. I could be wrong, but all these little pieces were cut up, which make for amazing little tabs in journals, and it is definitely something that I have thought of adding to my ephemera bundles, which I have thought that I may potentially pull from my Etsy shop and redo them to contain more items that are a little more on the hard to find spectrum. This is an antique lace. This is very delicate. That I actually pulled off from an old doll like corset. And there's so many. I can't even show you them all. This one, look at this one. So beautiful. So those are the laces and like the fabric trims. Put that back in there. And then this one has more kind of the wild trims. Another little sachet I threw in there. This is a little more modern. And my daughter absolutely adored this. These kind of feathers and these roses on it. A big strip of that. We got this gorgeous, like, fun tassel trim here. And then these beautiful lace, velvet embroidered trims. And I don't know what these came from, but they definitely look old. The lining on them is kind of falling apart. So I know that these are definitely on the older side, closer to the antique end of the spectrum here. There's a couple different thicknesses of these. So we got the wider pieces, and then we got kind of the thinner strips here of this velvet embroidered trim. And then there was this beautiful little applique here. And then this one, which she had started cutting out parts of and beaded some of it. And you can see where it was hand beaded on the back side of it. And then this tote here, the beautiful crochet and tatted trims in here. And this is, I mean, it is packed full. I have washed all of these, but it's just, they're so beautiful. Look how gorgeous these are. And some of these, I don't know if I'll be able to find one right offhand, but some of these you can tell were hand done because of the way the endings are. I don't think this one was, but you can tell where it was like ended on either side of it. Just absolutely gorgeous. There's a couple little black ones in here. Here's some really pretty floral there. Very delicate little pieces. Some more modern ones. That one's definitely a little more modern. This one you could tell was out in the sun or something. It's got some fading to it. This one reminds me of starfish in the ocean. Absolutely love it so much. Some pretty daisies. This one here, which I have been using on my most current journal that I'm making. And this, well, this was a doily that is absolutely falling apart, but I could not bring myself to throw it away because I believe I can still save some of these squares in there. This is all of it. Look at this, so beautiful. It's all crocheted laces and trims and tatting. So gorgeous. That one's a little more modern one that I just threw in there. Okay. And then last but not least, the paper items that I got. I'll start with these things on the top that did not fit into this little tote. So this there's a lot of personal items in here. This is like a little tin piece, and it is dated 62, and somebody signed it here. So this is a little tin piece that somebody engraved, hand engraved, and put it into this little frame. I love this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I love this. And then we got some Disney stuff, some vintage Disney. So we got a cute little Disney bag, and they had written all over it. And we've got these beautiful little silhouette photos. There's nothing on the back. I have no idea what year these are from. So these are opposites of the same person, as well as this here. I grabbed a couple. There were a few of these. I grabbed a couple. So these are top value stamp family gift catalogs. So I'm guessing that, so when you used to go shopping at a specific grocery store, you would get these stamps, or kind of like you would get like points on a card or something nowadays. And you would collect these stamps and you would put them into a stamp book such as this, which I also found at this same estate sale. So you would get these stamp books like this, and you would get stamps when you went shopping, and you put the stamps in these stamp books, and then you would send in your stamps to buy things from these catalogs. So this is the 1967, and this is a Norman Rockwell. Actually, they're both Norman Rockwell. So for example, let's see, let's go to this one. So we've got, let's see, the Easy Life. So we've got a Swing-O-Matic Lulls Baby to Sleep. It would be 4 3/5 books to buy the Swing-O-Matic Lull Baby to Sleep. So amazing images in here. You could get absolutely anything and everything. Mink fur coats. Look how fancy. And then this one is from 1970. Kitchenware, curtains, furniture. Oh, there's those mink coats again. Elegance is a fabulous fur. Beautiful. So those were super fun. We got a bunch of paper items. So we got some photos, and I went through these and I kept the ones that I was the most interested in. I got some very, very old photos here, and then we've got some newer ones, like some little Polaroids and stuff. Super fun. I found this little envelope that was Donna, and it was filled with recipe cards. I got some handwritten recipe cards, a little typed recipe card. We've got some kind of like almost like junk mail stuff. This was from like this was ripped up and it was in a book. Somebody had ripped up like a let's see, what does this say? Like a program. Region 9 Meeting Hostess Clubs program, and uses a bookmark. You've got a Disney Resort Hotels top of a flyer here that was used as a bookmark. We've got some junk mail envelopes from way back when. Let's see, last chance to get your free welcome rug kit. It's fun. Up some really awesome buttons here. So these are Bluebird pearl buttons. And then we've got these. Very, very pretty. Love those, and not even sure I want to take them off the cards, to be honest. And then I even kept this, like, I don't know what it is. It came from something related to sewing, so Halpern's trim, so it was a trim. I just like the little rooster, he's cute. I found some matchbooks. This was an old Disney one, Rose and Crown from Epcot. Completely full matchbook. Little gold tip matches in it. And we got some that are from like old hotels, AAA hotel. We've got one with Kennedy on the front, Kapok Tree Inn. Found this super cute little vintage sewing kit. I'm not even sure where you would have gotten this Caswell Massey Deluxe sewing kit, and it is completely untouched, with the buttons, pins, needle, and thread all right in there. I have no idea what this was from, but I absolutely loved it and thought that this would make a super cool addition to a grimoire. So just because of the pentacle here. And I'm not even sure if you can see the symbols there. Is that focusing? I'm not sure if that's focusing or not, but it's like a little booklet, and it says Sealco receipt case. And it's got these little, so it looks like you'd put a card or something in it. But I liked it. I liked the look of it, so I grabbed it. We've got a church flyer here. These were cool. I've never had these before. These aren't super duper old, but I really liked them. These little film negative squares here. And I believe these are of, I don't know if you can see through it or not. Let's try this. Maybe? They're like these bags that she would make. This was a little sad. So this was from a mortuary, and it was a listing of the fees from this funeral home from 1989. And looking into everything that I had gotten at this estate sale, I realized that this was the funeral costs for their son. And based on report cards and stuff that I had found, I had guessed that he must have been in his early 20s, possibly, when he died. So that was really, really sad. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that stuff, but I kept it. These are the report cards, just tons of them. I'm just gonna open one to show you. So this one's 1981 to 1982. This was grade 7 from Chris Clottrell. So to give you a reference, 1981, 1982, he was in grade 7, 1989, he passed away. So he was not very old, but did very well as a student. So those are all his old report cards, which are really fun to look at. I got this Prudential Insurance Company of America. This is a life insurance policy. So, hold on, let me see if I can open this the right way. It's a little on the delicate side. It's got this really cool clip on the top. So this was an insurance company. So this is a life insurance policy in the amount of $1,000 from 1916. And I have a feeling that that was probably a good chunk of money back then. It's got all of the information in here. Just an amazing, amazing piece here of history. We've got a certificate of birth, and the date of record, August 31st, 1933 is when they printed it out. The date of birth was 1890. This is a marriage certificate. I have an official record of from the Department of the Army of an honorable discharge. This is a super amazing piece. Absolutely love that. In the envelope and everything. I got all these cool club cards from different legions from the 1920s, 1930s, old receipts, old letters, handwritten items and letters and notes that fell off of an envelope, more letters, envelopes. This was an old vintage card, birthday card. Got a wedding invitation here. It's an old typewritten letter. Florida State Fair authorities. This was a Florida State Fair. I believe this was an invitation for her to have a booth at the fair. Another vintage greeting card. This was a story that she had written to the Daily Hampshire Gazette in Massachusetts. Very cool piece there. Another typewritten letter. All these ribbons from Church Academy Field Day from the 80s. Churchill Academy Handbook, like a code of conduct. There's some more progress reports. Here is a New Bedford High School Athletic Association certificate. And then these were report cards from the 50s and 60s, which were super cool. Love these. All tucked away in this envelope, nice and safe. So yeah, that was my haul. Most of it from that estate sale was absolutely amazing. You see these photos are a little tattered and torn, but I didn't want to throw them away. I was like, look how cute. Look how adorable. I have a redhead child. My son is redheaded. And so that's just adorable to me. Lots of amazing stuff. Let me know what you thought. Please give me your tips, tricks, anything that you have that may get that kind of old smell out of the fabric. Just let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much to my most recent subscribers. I do have a couple journals coming up. I have one that is finished. I need to make a video of it. And then I have one that is in the works. You may have seen my shorts that I have put up of that one. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, give me a comment. It means so much. I will respond to any comment that is left. I super duper appreciate it. And I will see you next time.